Okay, welcome back. We're going to do an example from section 3.8 on Newton's method. And let's do this. Let's say if we let x1 equal 2, let's find the third approximation. Let's find the third approximation. X3 to the root of the equation x cubed minus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. So I essentially want to approximate a solution to that equation, starting with x1 as the number 2. So they go ahead and give us a starting value here. Okay, so to begin, I first of all need to know how to get x3. So I can remember that by Newton's method. I have an x1. To get the next value by this recursive method, I get that x2 is equal to x1 minus f of x1 divided by f prime of x1. I know what x1 is. I have an f function that I can substitute x1 into. This is my f function. This is f of x. Okay. I know how to find the derivative of that function and how to substitute x1 into it. So that's what I'm going to do. I can note that x1 is equal to 2. F of x is equal to x cubed minus 2x minus 5. Therefore, f of 2 is equal to 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 minus 5, which is equal to 8 minus 4 is 4 minus 5 is negative 1. F prime of x is equal to the derivative of f, which is 3x squared minus 2. Therefore, f prime of x1 is f prime of 2, which is equal to 3 times 2 squared minus 2, which is equal to, what is that, 12 minus 2, which is 10. Okay, so I have f prime of 2, I have f of 2, and I have x1. That's enough to find x2. So x2 becomes x1, which is 2, minus f of x1, which is negative 1, divided by f prime of 2, which is 10. Okay. So if I put that into my calculator, I get 2.1. That is my second approximation. I need to use that to find the third approximation. So this is x2. All right. So again, I'm going to write this down. x3, the third approximation, is equal to, by that iterative method, x2 minus f of x2 over f prime of x2. The x value that I used to find it is the previous one to the one I'm trying to find. Okay, so I know what f of x is. It's the same as it was for the previous x value. So, but I'm going to use a different x value. I know that x2 is equal to 2.1. F of x2 is f of 2.1. So that is 2.1 cubed minus 2 times 2.1 minus 5. And then I need f prime of x2, which is f prime of 2.1, which is equal to 3 times 2.1 squared minus 2. I'm going to substitute those into my equation up here. x2 is 2.1 minus f of x2, 2.1 cubed minus 2 times 2.1 minus 5, divided by f prime, which is 3 times 2.1. Oh, what happened? There we go. 3 times 2.1 squared minus 2. If I put that all in my calculator, I get approximately 2.0946. Okay, so that is the third approximation for this particular problem. All right. So there's one example of how you can use Newton's method to approximate a solution. All right. Let's do another example. Let's figure this one out. Let's approximate a solution to 6 times the cosine of x times sine squared of x minus 1 is equal to 0. And let's approximate the 10th solution. Approximate the 10th solution to the following, or let me reword that actually. Let me say, let's find the 10th, find the 10th approximation. Just so I'm careful with my wording here. Let's find the 10th approximation. X10 to the root of this equation. And let's say starting with x1 is equal to 1/2 or 0.5. Okay. And if I had to do this 10 times, it would be a little bit of trouble. But Excel can actually help us out quite a bit here in finding solutions. So let's first of all start by saying, well, what does the form of an xn term look like? I know that x2, for instance, is equal to x1 minus f of x1 divided by f prime of x1. I have an x1 value. It might be a good idea to find the derivative. Find f prime before I start. I know what f is. F of x is equal to 6 times the cosine of x times sine squared of x minus 1, function f. Therefore, f prime is equal to, let's see, I'm using product rule to find the derivative here. So it is 6 times the cosine of x times the derivative of sine squared of x, which is 2, times sine of x times the derivative of sine, which is cosine of x, and then plus 6 times the derivative of cosine, which is sine of x, times sine squared of x. That's my product rule. And then minus the derivative of 1, which is 0. I'm going to simplify that a little bit, and I get 6 times 2 sine of x cosine of x is 12 sine of x times cosine squared of x plus 6 sine of x times sine squared is sine cubed of x. Okay, so I've got that part.